everyone here. Hey guys. I don't know if you're here yet, but we are just going to invite Cecily at You Have Yet Bordeaux. So hang with me for about a minute and we're going to invite her and we're going to go live. Oh yeah, no do-overs. We live up in here. So 1 second. Yes. We will get started very, very soon. I promise you that. Pour myself a little glass. Taittinger.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Good.
So,
I'm excited.
I know, so excited. Are we excited to kick this off? Maybe we should wait a few minutes. How many people are live right now? Does it look like 20, 30? We good?
Yeah, it looks like about 23 now.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So we'll get started. Yeah, so my name's Hillary Zio, for those of y'all who don't know, and we are tasting here from New York. We're in Hudson, the town and the valley, so just like upstate, 2 hours from New York City. And we're here with taittinger champagne. I'm really excited to taste with you all, and I mean, I've known this brand forever. I was a sommelier in New York for like 10 years, and I can't even tell you how many times I've popped this bubbly. So yeah, Cecily, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Awesome. So I'm Cecily. I'm at You Had Me at Bordeaux. I'm here in Sonoma County, where I was born and raised. I'm really lucky to have grown up in the wine industry and kind of be surrounded by all the beauty and passion here, which kind of led me to where I am now. I've been working in the wine industry at an educational level and then in restaurants for a couple years now. And started You Had Me at Bordeaux with my sister about 4 years ago now, which is crazy. And just really excited. I'm really excited to talk about champagne today. I love bubbles and excited to share it with all you guys.
Right, I know. Who in the wine industry doesn't love champagne, right?
It's like, I know. How can you not?
You have to. It's definitely a prerequisite. Yeah.
Totally.
Well, okay, cool. So I'm starting off here with the taittinger Prelude, and we're starting kind of fancy. This is a all Grand Cru vineyard champagne. So for those of y'all who don't know exactly what Grand Cru means, it's basically the most prestigious, really the highest quality villages within Champagne. That there's 17 of them, by the way. And taittinger, I mean, this is really an iconic brand. As I was saying, they're really big. They have 700 plus acres in Champagne. So as far as, you know, all of it, is it made, is it there, is it local? Half of it is produced there. And then they also, the other half of the production, they've purchased the grapes from growers. A lot of times they've been working with these growers for, I mean, dozens of years. I could even say like centuries, because they've been around since 1734. This is definitely a really old brand, as you know. So, yeah, mainly the two Grand Cru vineyards that this wine comes from are Avisé and Les Menil. So if anyone knows their Grand Cru vineyards and can really like taste the difference, these are exquisite places to make wine. And it's 50% Pinot Noir and 50% Chardonnay, which I really taste a lot of Chardonnay here. I don't know if you get the same notes, Cecily, but it's a lot of just brioche, bready, like buttered bagel kind of even. It is extremely, I mean, Chardonnay-like, right? Even though there is 50% Pinot Noir. But other than that, it's a little bit floral. I think like elderflower kind of come through across the nose. A little bit of herbs as well. Maybe like some fresh oregano. But yeah, this is definitely a beautiful wine, and it spends 5 years on the lees. So not to get like too technical on a Friday night about lees and the whole process and everything, but yeah, the lees are just those, the yeast, you know, and the dead skin cells that sit on the skins or on the juice really after the second fermentation. For me, it's like that's them aging the wine for you. So who wouldn't want someone to age wine for you? It tastes
Yeah, I mean, I
more
think
complex.
they should be.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, good for you, because I think, yeah, 1 year is recommended in champagne as far as non-vintage lees requirements on aging, and they go all the way to 5 years, which is really cool. So you can definitely taste just, I mean, to me, it tastes like an older wine because of that. Like it tastes like a vintage, like 2007, even like 2008. It has that age-worthy kind of note. What do you think?
Yeah, no, totally. I tasted this one earlier. I agree with you. I think it tastes like an older champagne, which is kind of nice. You get more of those complex flavors, and I just always love that brioche, smell and taste too. So it's a really beautiful one.
Totally. The acidity is really there for me, which I am like more acid the better. I don't know. Everybody has sort of different preferences. My parents are like, oh, I can't do acidity. I'm like, you're missing out. But
I love
champagne,
that.
yeah. And champagne is, for those that don't know, it's really one of the coldest regions for making wine. So those grapes, they stay like little acidity buds. They don't go into these really ripe, luscious, like in California where you are, and maybe you see a lot of Cabernet over in Napa. It has the sunlight, right? They lose a lot of that acidity and they get nice and ripe and juicy. But the three grapes of Champagne, Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, Pinot Meunier. Pinot Noir, Pinot Meunier, these are thin-skinned grapes and they have like a ton of acidity.
Yeah, and I was reading too that they do the immediate pressing in the vineyard so that there's none of that time for the heat to, get to the grapes, so the oxidation. So it totally, encompasses that acidity too right there. So that's really cool too.
So cool to me, like to have little press houses all across the vineyards where they just like go for it and they make sure that it's like ripe exactly when they need it to. I think that's really, really awesome. Yeah, I mean, they've thought of everything. They've had, decades to really perfect it, centuries really. Yeah. So with all of that being said about the Prelude, it's beautiful wine. It's about 90 to 100 bucks depending on where you are, retail wise. And I have decided to pair it with my little crab Louis, is what I call it. So it's just a little, lettuce with crab, and then I put my little toppings inside. I do this every summer. I think it's just like a really fresh summery. I say cook, but really it's more like assemble. You don't need any heat
totally
to make it, and it's great. I love crab too. I like crab even more than lobster. Some people think that's crazy, but I think it's amazing. So all you gotta do is take a little piece of lettuce. I mean, the rounder the better. This one's like really big, like leafy green. It's funny because we're ordering, online right now and like doing pickups. I picked up butter lettuce and got this, and I was like, I can't put crab in there. I'll chop it up later and use it for something else. But
there you go.
For now, we want to have like a little lettuce cup of some kind. And the first step is cucumbers. I had really, really small cucumbers, so here's what they look like. Yeah. And I sliced them thin, like 1/8 of an inch, and I like to put like 10 of them in there, 7 or 10. And you can do like matchstick style if you want, so they're the long ways, but I just do these little rounds. If it was a bigger cucumber, I probably would have done half moons, which I did for the radishes, you'll see. But so cucumbers is the first step, and then I do a little avocado. So I slice these ones really long, and this is the next layer, as you will. I put like 3-4 avocado slices on top, like this.
Nice.
And we're ready for some crab. So with the crab, I use jumbo lump, but I also have some claws in there. You can do imitation if you want. You can do all claws and you're really fancy, whatever it is. But I just added a little bit of salt. This crab is so good. And I just put it on top of cucumbers and avocado. And then I just fold in some radishes. These are the half moons I was talking about. I like just the crunch of radish, just to kind of pop them in the sides like that. all with your hands. And then the next step is my favorite. This is snap peas.
Ooh.
So sugar snap peas. These are really like local for us right now and totally in season. So I slice them in half, long ways. So I top and tail and then just slice in half. And I put them on top. As you can see, they're so good. I eat these all the time with pasta, with everything.
That was
yeah.
Oh my
And
God.
then I do some cherry tomatoes. This is kind of like my extra thing that, I pull recipes from all over and I just add and like what I like. Like this, I saw a couple of different recipes that like dill with their crab louis, and I'm not like a huge fan of dill. Mm-hmm. So what I did instead is capers. I have them in a little egg cup. I love capers. A little bit goes a long way. So I'll just do like 10 or so. And a couple of cherry tomatoes. So these are delicious for just adding like a little acid. So good. And a little lemon. I like lemon, like I was saying. I could just go acid crazy. But then all you need after it's assembled is the sauce. How you make the sauce is you get about half cup of mayonnaise. So I'm not going to do the whole thing right now, but let's just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then about a fourth a cup of ketchup. So that's 1, 2.5. I never really measure. I just kind of like eyeball it. I do a tablespoon of sriracha, but a teaspoon for those that are scared, maybe that you don't like too much spiciness. Teaspoon of sriracha, and then a little teaspoon of the Worcestershire. I can never say that.
No, I appreciate the pronunciation. I'm totally the same way.
Yeah, I'm like Worcestershire.
You're like, you know what it is.
That one.
Yeah.
And then a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. And honestly, I just overload on the lemon juice because that's my thing. Mix it up. Sorry if it's really loud. But it gets like a really pretty pink color. And then you just drizzle it on like, yeah.
Looks so good.
Yay. So this is my little crab louis.
Yeah.
And you can put little toothpicks in there, or roll it up like a burrito, or do whatever you want. Should I take a bite? I feel like Rachel Ray. I gotta like try it.
Right. Yeah. And I'm jealous.
Okay.
I saw someone asked in the questions, so they asked if seafood's a good pairing for champagne. And so like Hillary's pairing with crab, seafood is a really good pairing with champagne. I mean, it's nice because a lot of champagnes are really easily paired, I feel like. That's what it's fine. But one of the main pairings, I mean, at least for the ones I'm trying, were seafood and chicken. So, white meat go really well with champagne.
Definitely. I always like to think about, above all the different ways you can pair with champagne, I think about the weight. Champagne is relatively light, so you don't want to do like braised short ribs. It would just get lost. It's a delicate type wine. So, the pairing to me is great because the Prelude does have a little bit more of that creaminess, having longer taste contact, and it just like cuts through the fat. It's perfect with crab, lobster, shrimp. And yeah, we'll talk about the rosé later, but I feel like that's more in the like salad realm where you can't exactly use like a mayo sriracha type of sauce with, or it could get lost in like, because it's fruitier. But this one's really not fruity. It's more like herbaceous. Yeah, it has a lot of creamy notes.
Right, like secondary type.
Exactly. Secondary, tertiary, you know, herbaceous notes, minerality. It's great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I actually have next, I have the Brut La Francais, which is kind of probably what you find more in your local retailers and things like that. It's kind of their more entry-level champagne, non-vintage. It's delicious though. So this is going to be a blend of Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, and Pinot Meunier, but mostly Chardonnay, and that's kind of one of the things that makes taittinger a little different, that they use a little more Chardonnay than typically used in champagne, which brings out a lot of unique flavors and is kind of considered more of a finer grape in champagne. So that kind of differentiates them from other houses. But so this one's, like I said, they do the immediate pressing in the vineyard. This one actually is made up of grapes from about 35 different villages in Champagne. So you get a lot of really good expression of terroir and just different notes from the different areas. This one is aged on the lees for 4 years. So Hillary was talking earlier about aging on the lees. So this one, like I said, 4 years, which is almost double the minimum amount of time that champagne needs to be aged on the lees in the area. So they're kind of going, like she said, above and beyond for you, which is nice, especially for just their non-vintage Brut. Yeah, we've got pale gold, really fine bubbles. I love it when a champagne has those fine bubbles. It's not too overpowering with the effervescence. Peach and white blossoms, maybe a little vanilla, and like you said, some brioche and yours. But then, yeah, on the palate of this one's more fresh fruit. So you're saying yours is a little more at the secondary. This is maybe for more of the fruity lovers, you know, you get those fresh flavors and a little bit of honey too in there, which is really, really nice. Like, I feel like I could just drink this all day.
Oh, I totally agree. I had that wine last night and I was like, this is like that sort of stone fruit, more of the apple, you know, and pear. It's really delicious.
Totally, yeah, absolutely. So what I decided to pair with this is going to be a peach burrata bruschetta. I kind of get all those things that you can pair with champagne. You get a little, there's going to be a little prosciutto on there for the saltiness, and then the creaminess of the cheese, and then the sweetness of the peach, which will kind of draw that out from the wine as well. So should be good. Again, easy, kind of more like you can just assemble it. It's pretty too, so it'll kind of impress your guests. But so I start out with my toasts. I toasted them on a stovetop grill, just both sides with olive oil. Toast for a couple minutes on medium heat, and then just pull them right off. And then next I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add some burrata onto it. And then any kind of creamy white cheese will work here. I also had a ricotta ready to do, but I decided I like the burrata a little better, but a brie or even like a mascarpone would be good. So any really creamy white cheese for that. Next up, I've got my prosciutto. I prefer to use the imported prosciutto. I just find it has a little bit better quality of flavor. But really any thinly sliced prosciutto would work. And for those that don't know, prosciutto is just uncooked, cured ham. So really delicious. You get that saltiness. Next, I'm gonna go grab my peach, which is also on the stovetop grill over here. Again, just brush the side with, yeah.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
How long did you grab that peach for?
Yeah. Grab it over
How long?
here. So got that. Got some beautiful grill marks on there. I can't recommend these stovetop grills enough. It's just so easy. It's kind of easier than doing a barbecue, and you get the beautiful marks, and it cooks really nicely. So we've got the peach, and then next I'm going to just a little bit of balsamic glaze on there. And I just got a balsamic glaze from the store, but you can make your own balsamic reduction by just boiling down some balsamic vinegar. And then last, I'm just going to top it with a basil leaf, and that's it. And it's so easy, it's pretty, and it's just got, like I said, all those flavors that you can kind of pick up and pair with the champagne. And they're easy to make, and you know, they're beautiful too, and a nice summery kind of treat.
Oh my gosh, it sounds so good.
Yeah, I'm kind of afraid to take a bite, to be honest, because they're a little messy. But like you said, I feel like Rachel Ray always does it, so now we have to do it.
You got to do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I feel like I've only had like a peach, bruschetta a few times, but what a great idea, especially with champagne, because of all of the, fruity tones. It's perfect.
It's perfect. But yeah, it's really good, and that wasn't too messy of a bite, so we got lucky there.
I know, mine was like falling apart. I'm like, hey.
Yeah.
I have no do-overs, you know.
Okay, but yeah, so should we move on and talk about the rosé a little bit next?
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome.
Yeah, I love this rosé so much. It's funny to me how rosé and champagne wasn't like really a thing for, other than the last like 12, I would say, years. Like plenty of houses just weren't even making a non-vintage rosé. But I mean, yeah, it's definitely a trend. I definitely think that people would look at a rosé that's dark like this and think like, oh, maybe it's sweet or something. But it's not. Obviously all of Taitinger's wines are dry. Well, in the dry scale of things, when we talk about champagne, that dark color is really just from the addition of wine. That's still wine that you make it with. And maybe it is important to like do a quick recap on how to make rosé champagne for people who don't quite know.
Sure.
But to make still rosé, super easy. You just let the red grapes sit on the skins for a couple hours, 12 hours, whatever it be, and just let that color kind of come from the red grapes. But in this case, 85% of the wine, it was made into a white wine. So we're talking Pinot Noir, Pinot Meunier. These are red grapes that are pressed immediately, and they're made into white wine. And the only thing that makes it pink like this is the 15% addition of Pinot Noir, still red wine. So that's like, I'm like, don't be afraid of this Barbie pink color. It's dry, and it's just that Pinot Noir being so, it's vibrant, and it has a lot of red fruit. So
totally, yeah.
I don't know about you, but Pinot Noir, and you live in Sonoma County, so you probably do agree here, but it's really one of the most versatile but most flavorful grapes. It's like cherries and boysenberries. It's just so interesting as far as seeing like just how many different kinds of fruits Pinot Noir is. It's super fruit.
And especially you would think it's such a lighter wine too, so you would kind of assume if you didn't know that it would just kind of have those, more not as bold flavors and stuff, but oh gosh, like it has all those beautiful red fruits, and aged can be so beautiful.
Absolutely. There's just so much going on, and I think everybody, when they taste Pinot Noir, whether it be in rosé or champagne rosé or just Pinot Noir still, they get so many different kinds of fruits, and it's just got a lot going on versus some grapes that are really one-dimensional. They've got a couple things, but Pinot Noir is so beautiful. So I don't know. I love this wine. There is a little bit of Pinot Meunier here. So I guess the estate does about 50-50 Pinot and Chardonnay, and just a tiny percentage of Pinot Meunier. So not totally 50-50, but that Pinot Meunier does add florality. I was thinking, like, when I first tried this, I was thinking like blossoms and hydrangea, just a lot of really cool flowers going on. How about you?
No, absolutely, yeah. I mean, I get a lot of just raspberry, the cherries and currants, just it's like we were saying, it's just crazy how that small amount of Pinot Noir can just really be amplified. But yeah.
And then they just
like beautiful and smooth on the palate too. And I mean, a little bit heavy too, which is kind of cool because you wouldn't expect that. But I feel like that a little bit of weightiness, which is really cool.
Yeah, it is. It is. Especially if you've been sipping still rosé, and then you just have this, all of a sudden you're thinking, oh my gosh, what is this mousse, on the palate? What is all of this texture happening? Because, I mean, I've been definitely having a lot of rosé this summer. I don't know about you, but this is like kind of going above and beyond just being like weightier and really fun. But I would pair this with salads. I think anything really fruity, even your you know, peach prosciutto, it would be great with.
Absolutely, yeah. And even, I mean, I think we could even, like, with the weightiness, you could get even like a fruit tart or something, you know, and then you could pair it nicely with that, could play off. So yeah, really kind of diverse, you know. And
like a raspberry galette, right? Something that has like the breadiness in it, in the pie crust, so it kind of has like both going on.
Yeah,
really
yeah. Absolutely.
Cool. Do we have any questions at the moment? I don't know.
I think I saw some questions coming in, but yeah, we could take a minute kind of to answer those right now.
Cool.
Let's see.
Okay. This one I like. Do you ever serve champagne in a glass other than a flute? Well, okay, so right now I'm just using a white wine glass, which I pretty much taste for the most part. I do really like flutes, like the one we're giving away pretty soon.
Yes.
The Salto flutes, they're V-shaped, which is really cool. So to actually get your nose in more and the bouquet can come alive. Sometimes with the really, really narrow flutes, you can't swirl as much.
Right.
So you can't really get your nose in there, and it just, I think especially for people who have trouble getting a lot when they taste wine, they're like, oh, it tastes like wine. I don't know. Like that was me for like 10 years,
right,
honestly. Then I think, you know, opening it up by being able to swirl is important. So I definitely don't think that you have to use a flute. I wouldn't personally use like a larger glass for champagne, like a Bordeaux or a Burgundy glass, because those bubbles will just kind of like dissipate.
Exactly.
And we like to see those bubbles and a nice wine.
You know,
like,
are beautiful and make for a gorgeous picture, and they're so cool looking, but if you're really trying to taste the champagne, the bubbles that bring up those beautiful aromas just dissipate so quickly with those that if you're going to really get in there. I don't know if I'd use those either, but they are.
No, that's why I picked the Zalto ones for like the giveaway too, and the ones you picked are awesome. It's just thin glass with a nice opening. Like that's all you really need.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see, what else do we got?
I saw that someone asked, is there added CO2 in champagne? So what actually the way champagne gets its bubbles is through its fermentation. The wine is bottled and goes through a second fermentation that's closed, which traps in the CO2 that is created. So what happens when alcohol is made is that the sugar that's present in the grape juice is essentially eaten by the yeasts that are either on the grapes from the vineyard naturally or added yeasts. And when the yeasts eat the sugar, it lets off, the byproduct is alcohol and then CO2. So if you trap that CO2, you get this sparkling wine. And still wine, the CO2 is let off. So you don't get that. So the CO2 isn't added, it's just occurring from the fermentation.
Perfect answer. You did such a good job. I mean, it's hard sometimes to describe the process of champagne because it is.
Yeah, trying to make it a little more so you could just get it.
No, that's such a good job. Like, honestly, like, it's a 12-step process where you're like, all right, ready, go to school. You know, it's intense. Yeah, like I didn't understand the yeast plug until I went to Champagne and actually saw it like frozen in the neck of the bottle. I was like, oh, they really turn it like tiny little turns until it's finally in the neck. It's just such an interesting way. I'm like, how come you don't just turn a bottle and it stays, you know, sideways? Like, why does it go upside down? You know? But yeah, champagne is one of those amazing mysteries. We can take another question if you guys are curious. I know all your crazy wine questions. Don't be afraid. I like always doing these Zoom calls, so I'm like, I know you got them in there. And then when I say that, they're like, okay, fine. I've always wanted to know this or whatever.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, okay. So we have what would pair well with the rosé.
Okay.
That's really good. I mean, I love salads that have something extra, especially cheese. So it's interesting when people don't think that rosé and cheese should be together, but it's like, why not? If you can do a nice cheese with like a little bit of raspberry, like why wouldn't that work out? It's beautiful.
Yeah, especially if you're having like a, fruit preserve with the cheese, and it's just like how you have the fruit and the wine with the cheese. It just, yeah, why not? I agree.
Absolutely. It's like, yeah, go for it with the cheese, definitely. But honestly, this rosé is perfect as is. I think this is like my Saturday just sipper. It's really, really good.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Should we get to our giveaway winners?
Yes. Okay, cool. I just chose mine, but you go, girl.
Okay. So the first person, so how it works is if you hear your name called, then please comment in the comment box, and you have 30 seconds to comment back. Otherwise, we'll move on to a new winner. So the first person that won for me is at Blooms and Boxwood. Her name is Caitlin. So Caitlin, if you're watching, please comment, and then we can, we'll DM you after to get your information, and we'll get you set up with your prize. So if you want to say maybe yours, and then we can give them a little time to.
Yeah, sure. So I just wrote down a few based in no particular order. Third one down, let's say Anna at Anna_Hazard, Hazard. Anna, are you here?
And now we wait for them.
Wait for them. Who knows? I've got another phone right here, so I'm like,
Yeah. Well,
oh yeah, somebody asked where they can buy the taittinger champagne. On the website, you can type in. Tell me, Cecily, isn't it on the website you can type in your zip code and just find out like a retailer near you, right?
Exactly, yeah. And you just actually, if you go on the co-brand website, I think it is, you can type in your zip code, and then you type in taittinger, and then that should pop up where near you these are sold.
Awesome.
Yeah, so it looks like your winner won. I'm gonna move on to my next one. So at Julia Milan, if you're here, Julia, you won. And if not, I have more winners, so don't worry. And then so you kind of talked about the price point on yours while we wait. Mine, so the taittinger, the Le Brut Francais, about $30 to $40. So really affordable, and super usually easy to get to in local retailers. And then I think this one was just kind of mid-range. So this one's about 50 to 60, if I'm wrong.
Yeah, that's right. And yeah, 35 to 45 for yours. I'm the one that you did, the Brut Rosé. I mean the Brut. That is so excellent for champagne. I have a hard time finding a good champagne under $50 regularly. So that is phenomenal. I had that one last night.
Yeah.
I couldn't wait. Sorry. I was like, nope. But yeah, and then the rosé, like you said, like $50 probably retail.
Yeah.
Depending on where you are, but a steal, honestly.
Awesome. Yeah, so it looks like, okay, Julia's here. So we've got our winners. So that's super exciting. All right. Yeah, yay. Well,
congratulations.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
Thank you guys for winning your champagne.
Yeah, thank you for joining us, and enjoy. Let us know if you try our apps, and we hope to see you next time.
Yay. Can't wait to see you guys. Cheers. Ding, ding. Bye. Thanks so much for watching, guys. See you soon.